Spicy water.
Spicy water.
Why is it so spicy?
Why is it so spicy? Yeah, let's do that.
Spicy water?
We'll do the chicken wings, and then I'll do the...
Chicken wing. Hot dog and bologna. Chilling
and with my homies.
Chicken wing.
You're so weird.
Oh, we should start the podcast like that.
Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to Team Yoga Podcast, the show with hot questions and even hotter.
Hey, wrong show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is actually the Team Unicorn Podcast, and I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And today we might not have the blazing wings of death or any sort of last dab hot sauces here on the desk here, but we do have some very spicy Disney-related opinions to discuss.
We sure do.
This is all about talking about unpopular opinions, spicy hot takes from Disney parks. We have got a couple of Marvel and Star Wars hot takes in here, and I feel like this is something that's been really just rattling your brain for a while.
Yeah, we have a pretty good list, and we've just been adding to it. So I think we have some pretty good ones in there to discuss.
And you were talking the other night about it was difficult for you to go to sleep because it's all you can think about were some of these these unpopular opinions that we may or may not have, or we may disagree with you on, and you just needed to get that off your chest.
Yes, and funny enough, it was just all Marvel stuff. It was just, I just couldn't stop thinking about just a bunch of Marvel opinions and thoughts and all of that. So we do have a couple of those in here.
We do
to discuss.
Speaking of stuff we have on the podcast today, we have a little nugget right underneath us.
Oh,
Our
we do.
little girl is here to help. My best girl is here to help us with the podcast today, but I think we should just jump right on in because we've got lots to discuss today.
We do. So you wrote everything down, and so we're just going to kind of pluck them out and discuss one by one. Yep,
and we've kind of have two different categories. One is just kind of either a quote or some sort of hot take we saw online, and we're going to give our opinions, whether we agree or disagree on it. And the other ones are kind of pick your answer. So topics that have kind of a divided fan base of, right or left, option A or option B. And we're just going to hop in and give our opinions on that topic. So a lot of Disney related stuff in here, but like I said, we do have some Marvel and Star Wars kind of mixed in, and I'm very excited to get to some of the Marvel and Star Wars ones because I feel like that's probably going to be some interesting conversations that we're going to have here. So back with us on today's episode is our little basket of hot takes. And do you want to pick the first one, or do you want me to pick it?
I'll pick it.
Okay.
All right. So what do we got for this first one?
And when I was writing these down, I did add a couple that she doesn't know about. So this might be new to her too.
All right. Favorite mode of Disney transportation: bus, Skyliner, monorail, or ferry?
Ooh, this was actually, I think, the last question that we kind of entered in the first time, or when we were making our list. And we've done most of these.
Yeah, the only one we haven't done is the ferry.
Yeah, and I wouldn't anticipate in any way that the ferry would beat out the Skyliner for me.
Right, I was gonna say, I don't think that's gonna go to the top by any means. But yeah, the Skyliner is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, the bus is all right. I think Disney is probably the only place you're gonna get me on public bus transportation. But it's Disney. It's a Disney bus, so it's a little bit more magical. And we've had some really fun trips on the Disney buses. I remember there was one bus driver that was doing trivia, or they would do little karaoke sing-alongs. So that was really fun, but the Skyliner is just the best.
The Skyliner for sure. I wish they could do that to all the parks.
Yeah.
Not necessarily from every resort, but I don't know, each park would take you at least someplace on a Skyliner.
Right. I mean, even if it didn't go all the way to Magic Kingdom, even if it went from like to the ticket and transportation center.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you can easily. I'm sure it's probably pretty simple to go to Animal Kingdom. So if you got those two in there, like you could have almost every single park on the Skyliner system, which would be awesome.
Yeah, that would
because we love the Skyliner.
Nice.
You know, that's one of our favorite reasons about staying at Pop.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the next one here.
What do we got?
All right. Magic Kingdom, quote, Magic Kingdom is the worst park in Disney World. Well, I'm not going to say it's the best park in Disney.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the worst park.
I don't, it's Magic Kingdom. It has the castle. It's not the worst.
I don't agree with this hot take. I would say that it's out of the four, it's in my bottom half. I think I know we've kind of gone back and forth whether it's like my second or third favorite park.
Yeah.
It's definitely not my least favorite park in Disney World.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, because I really have fallen in love with Animal Kingdom, and and obviously, like we've talked before, like Epcot is our favorite. So then I think it kind of switches between like Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, like as 2 and 3, and then Hollywood Studios is 4.
And me. I love Hollywood Studios, don't get me wrong, but I think that out of all of them, Hollywood is probably my worst park. And that's not. I feel like worst is such a bad.
I know that makes it sound like we're like,
because it's not. Like I really love Hollywood Studios, especially during the holidays, and there's awesome rides there. But Magic Kingdom definitely is not the worst park.
No,
by any means. All right, ready for another one?
Yes. Okay. All right. The queue for Peter Pan's flight is better than the actual ride.
Yes.
Facts.
100%. I don't know what it is about Peter Pan's flight. I get it. It's like nostalgic and it's got like that old school Disney feel to it, but there's no need to wait more than like 20-25 minutes for that ride.
I don't know. I don't understand like how it gets like such a long line like all the time. Like,
because I remember like when our first trip, this was when Fast Pass was still around, rest in peace. Like that was the one that everyone's like, well, you need to get like your Fast Pass for Peter Pan's flight like right away, unless you're not going to get it. And I'm just like, why? Like, it doesn't live up to the hype for me. And I'll agree with this, that the queue is much better than the actual ride itself. There's an awesome interactive queue in Disney World. You get to go inside the Darlings, room and nursery, and it's really cute. It's interactive. You see Tink in there. They've got some cool shadow musical elements, and the queues I think is 100% better.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I just can't foresee myself waiting that long in that line. And,
no.
Like, I guess if I don't get to ride it on a trip, like I'm not going to be upset either.
No, and like I think that now that we've done Peter Pan's flight out in Disneyland, which I think is a better version of the ride. It's fine. Yeah. It's not a must ride for me. It never was a must ride to begin with, but now comparing it to Disneyland's version, it's definitely not a must ride for me. All right.
We got next.
Who are we going to make mad on this one? This is not a quote from us. Animal Kingdom is a half-day park. False. That is 100% incorrect. It goes back to what we just said before.
Yeah. Like, I feel like people just, they only think about rides. I don't know. I think when they're, like, thinking about, like, how much there is to do in a park. And, like, so I guess if you're just looking at, like, attractions, then, maybe it would come across. But there's just so much to look at and do. Like, you have both of the trails. You have Festival of the Lion King. Like, you need to plan that out because, I mean, that's, like, a 20-25 minute show.
Right.
Yeah. And then, just exploring, like, all the different, like, areas. Like, there's just there's so much to do.
And I think a lot of it is that people think like go on the safari and that's it, because that's like the main thing. And I didn't think this was the truth, but I heard of a fact on like TikTok or something the other day where the Kilimanjaro Safari is like just that attraction alone, like the animal preserve, is bigger than Magic Kingdom.
Yes,
it is. Like scaled it down right on the Disney app. It's just as big, if as Magic Kingdom. So that alone should tell you that there's a lot more to do. If you can make Magic Kingdom a 1-day park, we try to make it at least a day and a half, if not 2-day park when we go. So if you can make Magic Kingdom a 2-day park, you can make Animal Kingdom at least a 1-day park, if not more.
For sure.
We love Animal Kingdom. So.
I do. I have fallen in love with that park. I don't know what it is. Like,
that makes me mad that people think it's still a half-day park.
Yeah.
Like, I could see, like, maybe like when it first opened up and like it was just a safari and they didn't have a whole lot more than that. But there's so much to do and explore there. And it's not even going, like, you don't even have to go on Cali River Rapids to make it a full day.
Right, so you can skip that.
You can skip that and still have a lot of
plenty
stuff
to do.
I mean, you're gonna spend half your morning in line for Flight of Passage anyway. You're gonna have to spend the rest of the day getting on everything else.
Yeah.
That's an unpopular opinion of mine. Like, Flight of Passage isn't worth that wait at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have like a love-hate thing with Flight of Passage, just because like it's based off a movie that I don't like, and like the whole, like, obviously, like, Pandora area. Like, I don't like Avatar. Like, I don't have any connection with it.
Right.
I mean, but I do like the ride. Like, when I'm on it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. But there's like several other things that I would probably pick to do over that. And then not to mention the food. Like, Animal Kingdom has really awesome food.
Oh yeah, 100%. Some of the best food in the park, I think, other than outside of Epcot, just because you have all the foods for the festivals. Just like your mainstays food, I feel like Animal Kingdom has just the best, like, just everyday type of menu. So yeah, definitely do not sleep on Animal Kingdom. Do not make it a half day. I do not agree with this one at all.
All right. Our next one here. Okay, so this is in quotes. Phase 4 of the MCU is just bad/horrible, and they are just making female versions of male heroes.
Here's your time to shine, Sammy. Tell the world, tell the Team Unicorn community how you really feel about this.
Okay, so all of you guys that are getting all like bent out of shape about Phase 4 because it's so slow
and so cringe.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, like, there was 10 years of stuff leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. Like, we got through like Phase 1 and 2. Like, I think those were kind of slow. Like, we had that big buildup. We had the big ending. Like, not that we need to like start over, but we're branching out to other stories and other characters. Like, it takes time to develop. So just put your patient pants on and it will be just fine. Okay.
And enjoy what they're giving you for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Like, She-Hulk, for example, it's not meant to be groundbreaking television. Thor was Love and Thunder was not meant to be groundbreaking cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, they were funny movies that complemented the world that they surround and set up future endeavors.
Right.
I personally loved Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm really enjoying She-Hulk right now. I think we're 3 or 4 episodes into right now. Team Wongers all the way.
Wongers.
100%. I mean, I love this show for what it's worth. I'm not gonna say that it's one of the best MCU shows that they've ever put out. I still think that goes to WandaVision or Captain America. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, now Captain America, or Miss Marvel. I think those are my top 3 tier ones. But the fact that they say like, oh, they're just making female versions of male heroes, like, y'all never picked up a comic book then. Like, that happens all the time. Like, that's literally like Ant-Man has the Wasp, Hulk has She-Hulk. Like, that's how it is. Like, they do that in comic books for a reason.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing that kind of irritates me too, is like, you have all these like comic book purists that are just like, when they watch the movies or the shows, and they're like, well, in the comic books they did this, or they was like this, or their costume looked like this, or whatever. And I'm like, how many different like story arcs, universes, like, are there like pertaining just to like one character?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all different. Like, and you know, and I think it'd be pretty boring if you're watching these shows and movies if you just know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't get that either. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that this was like one of those things that I had a lot of stuff to.
Yeah, and I think now like we are slowly starting to get more details about what Phase 4, Phase 5, going into Phase 6 is going to look like. We've gotten a lot from San Diego Comic-Con earlier this year. At the time of recording, I think that they're just about to start the Marvel panel at D23. So who knows what's going to happen today when they announce all that information. So it'll be very fun to see where they are taking this universe. And like you said before, like people just need to put your patient pants on and enjoy these things for what they are.
Right.
We obviously know this isn't a huge spoiler because it's been out on posters and everything, but like we're getting Daredevil in She-Hulk. Like this is going to start leading to something bigger. And the fact that we're getting this in a show like She-Hulk, where you have a crazy tall green lawyer who can manage her anger, who is trying to date and is defending Wongers and Madison. Like it's a weird concept, but it works for what it is. Just stick with it. I tell people, you know, just don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to the crazy TikTokers that all they do is complain about this show. Like just enjoy it. Like nothing has to be like groundbreaking, earth-shattering, multiverse, you know, splitting events in the MCU. Like I'm okay with She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Like that was hilarious. Just laugh a little bit. Like let go of your toxic masculinity and your fragile you know, just fragility just a little bit and just lighten up a little bit and enjoy these shows for what they are.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like as Marvel fans, like we know like Marvel they plant these seeds and like, you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit for them to grow or connect or see it like, you know, 3 or 4 movies later. So, I don't know if people are just forgetting that or if like with all the stuff that Marvel's been putting out, they're just kind of wanting like payoffs right away or
Marvel has never been the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Studios has never been instant gratification. Has never been instant payoff.
Right.
So don't expect an instant gratification from one movie or 3 or 4 episodes into one series.
Right.
Like it's not going to happen. And you're just going to have to get over that.
Yeah, for sure. So, I don't know. Like, so far, I've, like, enjoyed most of the stuff from Phase 4. And I'm really excited, for Wakanda Forever to come out. Like, I think that's going to be amazing. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess just enjoy them for what they are right now. Like...
I mean, I know Stan Lee had his soapbox. We got you up on your soapbox on this one. Anything else you want to discuss on this?
I do have some other stuff I could discuss.
I mean, the floor is all yours. Here's the microphone and it's all yours.
Okay. I guess like my one other thing that I kind of want to get off my chest is like the whole thing with SpiderMan and like people like just like they loved like No Way Home. Like they thought it was just amazing and they love, you know, Peter Parker and like him as and Spider-Man and all of that. And I kind of compare Spider-Man to Miss Marvel. Like they're both like high school kids that, you know, find themselves with these super awesome powers, and people like were complaining that they couldn't relate to Miss Marvel because, like, I don't know if it's because she's a girl or because she's Muslim or whatever, but I'm like...
I could relate to Peter Parker because I, too, was once bit by a radioactive spider and I have powers. Like, it's more relatable of a story to me.
I'm like, I don't understand, like, you know, like, some of the hate that Miss Marvel was getting about, like, I just can't relate to her. And I'm like, well, how do you relate to any of these characters? Like, I don't know, like...
I know when I heard people saying I can't relate to Miss Marvel, it's only a show made for, like, Muslim teenage girls. I'm just like... You're saying the stuff that you should be keeping inside out loud and don't. Like, just, like, it's not... Stop.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand. So that just makes me a little frustrated that, like, kind of similar storylines, one of them is okay, but then, like, one of them's not, I guess,
Right.
it seems like. And I'm like,
We
I don't
thoroughly enjoyed
understand,
both. I absolutely loved No Way Home. You actually just went and saw it again, the more super awesome version or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
In theaters with your friend, and Miss Marvel is one of our favorite characters. We've talked about that several times on the show, and we've had a couple extra Magic Minute episodes with that. So, yeah, I don't get why one was praised and one was like, oh, I can't relate to that. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Just, you're being that's a garbage take, and I'm gonna call you out for it. All right.
Let's
do it. Next one. Hoot hoot. God, why did I mean, so I have these all written down in Post-it notes. We've done this before. It's worked a lot easier before, but I've not been the one writing these down. So I don't know if it's just me, but these are a little hard to open up. All right. Quote, Toy Story 4 ruined the franchise.
Ruined. I wouldn't say ruined. I just unnecessary. Yeah, I was just gonna say it wasn't needed. Like, Toy Story 3, the ending was absolutely perfect.
Chef's kiss. 100%.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Toy Story 4. Don't get me wrong. I do think that there are a lot of good things that came out of that movie, but in whole, I just don't feel like it was absolutely necessary. Yeah. So ruined is a harsh word.
Yeah, I think that's a little harsh.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Which version of Space Mountain is the best, Disneyland or Disney World?
And why is it Disneyland?
Yeah, Disneyland. Because it feels like you're not going to get decapitated.
God, yeah, I can't put my arms up in the Disney World version. Well, either version, but I feel a lot safer putting my arms up and enjoying and laughing and being having some fun on Disneyland's version as opposed to Disney World. I wouldn't say Disney World's like a death trap. But it's pretty close.
I don't know. I still enjoy riding it, and I will still go on it. But if I have to pick, I would pick Disneyland.
Yeah. It's a much comfier seating experience.
Yeah, and I think the track is just a little, like, it's smoother.
Yeah, I would 100% take Disneyland over Disney World anytime, and I feel like that's not
the case with most rides.
Yeah, and I don't think, like, especially this one, I don't think that's so much of an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
I just think that the people who think that Disney World is better, you're not right. All right. Ooh, this is a good one for us.
Okay.
Where do you start in World Showcase, Canada or Mexico?
Well, I think the UK is the right answer.
Yes, there's only one right answer, and it is the UK. Canada and Mexico, no.
Like, I don't know why this always gets lost in this discussion. Like, when people bring up Canada versus Mexico, I'm like, what about the people coming in from the Skyliner?
Yes, like, when you're coming in from the Skyliner, from any of those Skyliner resorts, you're coming in, or not even from the Skyliner, but anywhere from, like, the backside of Epcot.
Yeah.
You're coming into the International Gateway, and in the morning you have a choice to go to the UK Pavilion or to France. That has always been our case. We've never gone through the front of the park coming into Epcot.
No.
So whenever people argue, because it's always like, I feel like the popular opinion is Mexico and unpopular is definitely Canada. But then, like, I hear people, like, we see this a lot, like, on All Ears or Disney Food Blog or any of our, the influencers we follow. And I'm just like, y'all are both wrong. Like, UK is the best answer for this. Yeah. I mean, not that France is bad.
Yeah, France isn't bad either. And we've done it a couple times now where we just kind of wander the World Showcase in the morning and we get the most amazing pictures right away in the morning. And sometimes we'll do that and we won't even, like, go for a ride.
Yep. So, and I think either way is fine. I think just both of those, for us, it's definitely got to be UK.
Yeah, I mean, you put my favorite pavilion right there. Like, I'm going to go there immediately.
Like, the first thing, even before you get the pavilion, is that you get the chance to see Mary Poppins or Alice in the garden. Like, you get a character interaction almost immediately as you walk into that pavilion.
Yes.
So UK is the best answer.
UK all the way
is the only answer. Yeah. I guess if you had to choose, if you were coming in from the front of the park, coming into World Showcase, are you Team Canada or Team Mexico?
Oh, I probably would go Mexico only because it has the 3 caballeros.
Okay.
And I'd probably go ride that.
That makes sense. I'd say Canada just to make people mad.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yep.
All right. So what do we got next? Ooh, pick one. Baby Yoda versus Baby Groot.
Ooh. Yeah, this is... I feel like there's very strong teams on both sides here. I'm going to pick Baby Groot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a Baby Yoda.
Well, I guess my caveat is, are we including like toddler Groot as part of Baby Groot? Because like Baby Groot, like I don't know if that's just like in the pot, like hasn't busted out of the pot
like
yet.
In my mind, Baby Groot is like
I feel it's any Groot that's up to the end of Guardians Volume 2.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess in my mind I'm like Dancing Groot and like all of Guardians too.
So that's why I'm like I'm with Groot.
I would go with Groot as well.
Not that I don't like Grogu. I love Grogu.
Yeah.
We have got a ton of Grogu merchandise here in the house, but we just haven't seen enough of Grogu for me to say like he's better than Baby Groot.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I just, I don't know. I just feel like a stronger like connection, or like I don't know. Like I just would pick Baby Groot, I guess.
But we'll see what happens. Mandalorian season 3, maybe Grogu comes through and
we'll see.
Because I would say that season 2, especially like when he's out training with Luke and like, or you get like his interaction with the Frog Lady and getting a lot more of what happened in season 2 of the Mandalorian. He's making a case for himself, but I'm still gonna go with Baby Groot.
Yeah.
Oh, this one breaks my heart when I hear people say it. Mulan is not a Disney princess.
She is.
She is definitely a Disney princess.
Definitely.
I feel like a lot of people are just hung up on the technicality that she didn't come from royalty or she didn't marry into royalty. That's what princesses are.
Yeah.
But she saved all of China.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, I feel like that was like the one reason why she got in there. That was like the one caveat. Like you do, like you perform a heroic act. We've heard that. I think Super Carlin Brothers, which is some YouTubers that we follow, so go follow those guys as well. I think they kind of broke that down. Like, either do something heroic. You're born into royalty. You marry into royalty, or and then between those 3, your movie also has to be successful.
Yeah.
And Mulan fits that. Does something heroic.
Well, yeah, if she saves all of China, like, I think that qualifies. You call her a princess. I would call her, like, a princess warrior, though. Like, she's so, like, I don't know.
I think with the new inclusion of Raya, like Raya and Mulan are very much in the same vein, because I wouldn't say that Raya necessarily came from, like, royalty. She just came from a dominant family, but like a prestigious family in part of Kamandra, but I wouldn't say like that's royalty.
I don't know if it's her dad calls her a princess in the movie.
Yeah, he does. As soon as we saw that, I'm like, she's a new Disney princess, and it just took like 2 years to finally get that.
But yeah, Mulan is definitely a princess.
100%.
All right, what do we got next? Oh, this is a quote. Okay. Up isn't that great. Carl and Ellie's montage just makes people feel like they should care.
I read this when doing research for this episode. And I don't know who you are. What soulless heathen that you are. But you are 100% incorrect.
Yeah.
Up is one of the greatest movies Disney Pixar has ever produced. It is one of the saddest. It's one of the funniest. It's one of the kindest movies. And this is a trash opinion.
Yeah, definitely trash opinion. Like, that montage with Carl and Ellie, like, packs so much in such, like, a Disney Pixar way. Like, it's so beautiful. And I follow, like, the rest of the film. It's amazing. And I know, like, in that montage, like, what other, like, Disney movie talks about, like, miscarriage and not being able to, like, conceive your own, conceive children. And
like she's going through like a lot of depression in that
Yeah.
film. And then you just see the whole life of the two. I don't understand. Like when I read this, I'm like, this person hasn't cried. Like they probably didn't cry when Bambi's mom was killed. They didn't care about Mufasa dying. They just don't have a heart.
Yeah.
That one hurt to read. So
Yeah.
as soon as I read that, I'm like, this one's going in, and they are wrong.
They are very wrong.
All right. Sammy, pick one.
Ooh.
Cinderella pumpkins or Mickey pumpkins?
Cinderella pumpkins. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, what's your thought?
So I guess for anyone who's wondering what the debate is about before we get into it, in Magic Kingdom specifically, going up into the hub, they have Mickey pumpkins, wreaths, autumnal wreaths with a Mickey pumpkin with Mickey ears kind of carved into the pumpkin. For the 50th anniversary, starting last year, they changed them to Cinderella pumpkin. So it's the Cinderella carriage. It's got a really fine gold frame and the C on it, and it looks like Cinderella's carriage. I would agree with you that the Cinderella pumpkins are better than Mickey pumpkins.
And that is not like, people were very upset about the Mickey pumpkins going away. Upset. And I'm like, the Cinderella pumpkins are beautiful. I love them so much more than the Mickey pumpkins. Like, I think they look amazing. And if we could be down there for like the fall time or Halloween or whatever, like, that's what I want to look at, are those Cinderella ones. So I wish that they would have those all the time. And I don't care if I'm making people mad, but I think those Mickey pumpkins like look kind of bad, and he looks kind of creepy. So,
yeah,
I think they don't look good. Like,
yeah, I don't like them
much better.
I don't like the Mickey pumpkins. I mean, for what it is, great idea, love it. I think the execution is just bad. I don't like the way that it looks like it's carved. It's just Mickey's face just does not translate well to a pumpkin, I believe. So I'll agree with you on this one, and that's probably one of the bigger unpopular opinions that we're gonna have in this episode. That Cinderella.
I know, when we were talking about these, I'm like, I like the Cinderella pumpkins way better. Put that in there.
So sorry for anyone who likes those Mickey pumpkins, but
not really.
Team Unicorn thinks you're wrong.
All right. Let's see. Ooh, Jar Jar, Ewoks, Porgs ruined the Star Wars films.
I included all three of those in there because you have that one character or creature that a lot of people would say, oh, well, they just put that in for marketing. They just put that in for the kids. It's not needed. They're stupid. Y'all are wrong.
Yeah.
Growing up, the prequels were my jam. I love Jar Jar.
I love Jar Jar. Like, I remember watching them for the first time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, he's so funny. Like, I loved him. I
remember, like, a lot of people were like, well, they just put that in to sell toys. They just put it in for the kids. I'm like, what do you think Ewoks were?
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what they were. Like, they were the Star Wars equivalent to a Care Bear. Like, they were just there to get more people to love these films.
Yeah.
And then now going into the most recent set of trilogy films, that's what the Porgs are. The Porgs, I love them. They're funny. Just seeing Chewbacca like about to eat one, and then the sad Porg just looking at Chewbacca be like, why are you trying to eat my friends? Like, that's what they're there for. They're just meant to be a comedic relief. Just, enjoy them what they are for.
I know, they're so cute. I love them. Like, I love the little creatures. Like, the little, like, I know we talked about it in our collectibles episode, like, but like little like crystal like foxes and like all of the cute stuff. Like, that's what I'm here for.
And the thing that I don't get, like, with that, what do you think Grogu is? Like, Grogu is just a cute creature meant to push merchandise. Like, and it's there, like, it also progresses the story. That's what Jar Jar was. Jar Jar was this crazy, goofy looking character. He did progress the story, and he was meant to, sell merchandise. Ewoks, Porgs, all the same thing.
Yeah.
So I love all three sets of those, Ewoks, Porgs, and Jar Jar, and y'all are wrong if you don't. I got another park specific one here. Quote, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train isn't that great or isn't worth the wait and the hype.
Oh, yeah, we have talked about this before. Like,
this is one of our quotes. This is one of our hot takes.
Yeah, like it's fine. But yeah, it gets a lot of hype for like an okay ride.
Yeah,
like, it's okay.
If it's good for what it is. It's a tight fit on the knees. It's not worth a 105-minute wait. It's not worth a 30 or 40-minute wait for me. Yeah. I will also say I will never pay to go on that ride.
No.
I know it's a fancy ride, or an individual lightning lane. I'll never pay for that. I don't get it. It's not worth the hype. It's a good ride, but there are better rides.
Like, I mean, I'll go on it. Like, if the wait is like fairly low,
oh yeah,
like
100%.
I would go on it, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way, or I'm not gonna. Like, I probably wouldn't choose to go in it for, like, early theme park admission. Like, I would probably choose Space Mountain over that.
Probably.
Do, like, Space Mountain and then... But honestly, like, if they had, like, the whole left side of the park open for early admission, like, I would go over there. Like, I would do, like, Haunted Mansion, Pirates, Big Thunder. Like, I would do all of those over there.
Yeah. So, it's, it is what it is. Yeah. But this is our... I don't even say this is an unpopular opinion on ours. It's just a hot take that I think a lot of people agree with. That Seven Dwarfs just isn't all that worth the hype.
All right, what do we got? Rise of the Resistance is just meh.
Complete opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It is definitely worth the hype.
Yeah.
I would wait in line. I don't think I would wait 3 hours in line for it.
No, there's a lot of things like I think like an hour for anything is like my cutoff. Like I'm not going to wait more than an hour for like any ride. Like I will go find some other stuff to do and hopefully it'll go down.
But I would 100% wait an hour for this.
Yeah, like an hour would be okay.
Yep.
Because I remember at the end of the night on our last trip, we got in.
Yep, we got in line right.
Yeah, and then that said like 60 minutes, and we actually got through in like 20. But no, that ride experience like is amazing.
I think calling it like just a ride is just it's almost disrespectful because of so much stuff that's going on in there. Like even an attraction just feels like it's not like worthy of enough. Like there's show scenes, there's moving parts and vehicles, there's interactions with like the cast members, there's a drop tower, like just the whole thing, and it's like a super long experience.
Like it's a whole like because it's like 4 different areas that you get to go into. Yeah. And plus I've heard from like people that don't even like Star Wars or even know or have seen Star Wars, like they still enjoy and love this ride. So
and
like,
this is one
I think that says a lot about this.
Yeah, and this is one that I would even pay.
Yeah. I think with our upcoming trip, like we're definitely
we'll definitely discuss it if we have to or not, but if it comes down to it, we'll pay to go on this, right?
And it's worth it. Yeah,
100%. Okay. Next is it's a pick one.
Oh, okay.
Which is better, Tangled or Frozen?
We're just talking Frozen 1.
Frozen 1, yes.
I'm going Tangled.
I'm going Tangled as well. I think it's hard for me to pick which one is better. They're both very good movies. I feel like there's very strong camps for both of them, and I feel I would think that maybe the underappreciated film is Tangled. When it comes to those two, I know we've talked about like Tangled versus Princess and the Frog, like which one is quote unquote better. We talked about that in our dig a little deeper episode of Princess and the Frog, but I really like Frozen, but I think I would choose Tangled.
Yeah, I would too. And I think just knowing because I really enjoy Frozen 2 better than Frozen 1. But obviously like you can't have sequels and all that without the original. But yeah, given the choice between the two, I would almost always pick Tangled. I think like if I'm gonna watch it or like listen to like a soundtrack or something like that, I'm probably gonna pick Tangled.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I just don't think it's maybe fair to like pit these two together or against each other, I should say. But I know that there's definitely some strong feelings on both ends as to, which one is better, or which one, if you can only choose one, which one. And I'm like, just like them both.
But if you had to choose,
it's a tie. I would probably I'll take Tangled.
Yeah. All right, next one. A rainy day in Disney is better than any other day elsewhere.
No.
No.
Lie. That's 100% incorrect.
Oh, we had the rainiest day on our last day.
Hated it. It made me so upset. I was angry, Tyler. She calls me angry Ty when it happens.
Yes.
I was just so miserable, and it was just I was insufferable that day. I hated it. And we tried to make the best of it.
We did. There were some good moments. And yeah, we did try to make it do with all the rain, but
no,
yeah, it still was rain. It was, I don't know, we were getting wet, and I don't know, I think once your shoes and socks and feet are just all soaked and you're trying to walk around and still be all magical and cheery just isn't working, even if you are in Disney.
No, I mean, you make the best of what it is, but the only thing that, like, to me that stood out that, like, was good from the day was that we got to see the rainy day parade, the cavalcade.
Oh, the cavalcade, yeah.
Which obviously only happens if it's a rainy day, but, that also comes the caveat that you have to deal with a rainy day to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. This is also your PSA to make sure you have a good poncho with you.
Yeah.
I did not. I wound up having to buy one of the expensive $12 ponchos from Disney, which immediately ripped right down the chest. So I was forced to kind of grasp my raincoat together, which then made my arms get wet, and then pulled up my poncho, so then my shorts and my socks and shoes got wet. I was just so
miserable.
unhappy. I was so miserable.
It was miserable.
And it was the last like full day of our trip. Like, that was not the way I wanted it to go, and no, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I'll 100% take a sunny day anywhere else, or even a cloudy day with no rain anywhere else. I'll take a snowy day here.
Snowy day here.
I'll take a snowy blizzard day in Green Bay over a rainy day in Magic Kingdom. 100%. Okay, I think I'm gonna have some opinions on this one too.
Okay. What do we got?
Atlantis: The Lost Empire is a top tier Disney movie.
Ooh, no.
Bro, I don't even remember what the hell that movie was about. Like, I have no idea what that movie was about. Like, we watched it. We went through, and this was earlier on when we started this podcast. We were like, "Oh, we're gonna watch a bunch of new Disney movies we never saw before, and react to them and rate them or whatever." Like, I don't even remember a thing about this movie. It is that forgettable to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no desire to watch it again. No. Like, the characters were okay, and yeah, the storyline was just it's just okay. Like, it's definitely,
I feel like this movie is very niche, and the people that love it.
Yeah.
Magic with Meg, influencer that we mentioned her on the show before. I think that she really, really likes that movie.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, I think she does like some cosplays with. I think her name is Kita.
I think Kita.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember
the guy's name.
Oh God, he's just a nerd.
The map guy.
The map guy. Yeah. Nope. Nope. It's a forgettable movie. Sorry if that offended people. Sorry if that hurt your feelings, but nope, that is not. That's not even like a mid-tier movie to me. I don't even know if it would crack the ceiling of a bad tier movie for me. I don't even remember it. Like, it's just
All right, on to the next one.
Oh, we're gonna get lots of comments about that one.
That's okay. I don't think we're wrong.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right, next.
This show is all about hot takes and spicy opinions. Like this is, nah, you're wrong.
All right, the next one is the Star Wars prequels are so cringy and bad.
Say something about the mother effing prequels. I love them. I grew up on them. They need more love. Anakin and Padme need more love. Everyone loves Obi-Wan. Everyone loves Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Did you forget about the rest of the movies that he's all in? Like Sam Jackson is in these movies. Like they're so good. I love the prequels. I grew up on these films. You coming in from not seeing any of the Star Wars films growing up.
I remember, okay, so we started, we watched the prequels first.
Yep.
And then we watched 4, 5, and 6. And I remember...
She doesn't want to say it because she knows people are going to get mad about it.
They're going to get mad, but I was like, well, maybe they could just remake the original trilogies to make them look as good as the prequels. Because I remember you saying, like, we're going to get, like, some really not great Yoda in these next ones. Like,
yeah, the puppeteering of Yoda.
So I do enjoy the prequels. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the characters. Like, love Jar Jar. I love Padme. Like, I think she's so cool. So, yeah, I don't know. I love them. Whether or not they're like better than the original, like that I'm not gonna get into just because like I like the newer trilogy the best, like out of everything. Mm-hmm. So
and I will say you kind of touched on it a little bit. I do think there are some people who kind of disagree with the order to watch the Star Wars films. And I guess since we're on this one, my personal preference is that you start 1, 2, and 3. So the prequels, then the originals, and then the sequels. Start in I guess time order of the movies, like how they all fit into the grand scheme of things. I know there are camps where they're very much like, you need to start with 4, 5, and 6 and then go to 1, 2, and 3 because that's the way they were released, or that's the way that the story's meant to be. And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna watch the last episode of Loki just to go back and start watching the first episode because you think it sounds better that way, or any show, or I don't know. I'm firmly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 9, and scatter in those stories in between there.
Yeah.
So just FYI how I feel about that. Mickey pretzels and premium ice cream bars are top tier snacks.
Top tier. That is trash opinion. You throw those right in the garbage and you go get literally anything else.
I will say that we have had Mickey premium bars, not in Disney.
Okay, they are a good snack for when you're at home
and you're missing the parks. Yeah, go ahead. You can go get them at Target or Walmart or wherever you get your Mickey premium ice cream bars from. You can get them in the stores. But when you're in Disney World, there are so many other good food options.
Yeah.
Why would you resort to an ice cream bar and a pretzel?
Yeah.
I don't even like the people who are like, oh, the pretzel in the Germany pavilion at Epcot is the greatest pretzel. Like, no, like it's still a pretzel.
Get cheese with that one.
You don't?
No,
you have to pay extra for that?
I don't even think they have it. Like that big one in Germany, I think you just eat it as is.
That's gross. Okay. I don't think that either of these, like, I guess when I think of Mickey premium bars and Mickey pretzels, I think of Magic Kingdom, just because like I think that's where you can like get them. Like, you can get them at the parks all the time, but I feel like a lot of people just get them there, because the food selection at Magic Kingdom isn't like the greatest, I would say, but there are still foods at Magic Kingdom I will 100% get well over Mickey pretzels and premium ice cream bars.
Yeah, like you have those cheeseburger spring rolls, like corn dog nuggets from Casey's Corner, like almost anything from the confectionery, but you have to get it from the case. Don't get like the prepackaged like plastic stuff.
Yeah.
You got to get the fresh stuff from the case. Like I don't know, like there's just so many other snacks that I would eat before I would eat a pretzel or a premium bar.
Yeah, this one confounds me. I get that it's probably a good easy snack for a lot of different kind of eaters. If you have a picky eater, hey, a pretzel or an ice cream bar is going to kind of satisfy anyone. But I mean, this is something where you're just kind of like, you need something more than just that. And especially in Magic Kingdom, where, like I said, like these two things kind of come to mind to me the most. Like, you can do so much better.
Dole Whip.
Yeah.
So many flavors of Dole Whip. So many different ways you can have it. Like, I would take that any day over.
The Cheshire Cattail.
Yep.
Like Gaston cinnamon roll. Like, there's way better snacks just in Magic Kingdom alone. Not to mention any other park where you can get a Mickey pretzel and Mickey
cinnamon. Oh my gosh. If you're eating a Mickey pretzel in Epcot, like, shame on you. You go to any of those food booths, there are way better snacks. Like, no, I can't. Like, I'm not spending my money on that. Like, they're
never would do that.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, that got kind of heated.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's your turn to read one.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Here you go.
Oh, the best Chris. Evans, Pratt, Hemsworth, or Pine?
Here's the thing about this question. This gets thrown around a lot. Who's the best Chris? I don't like that. I don't like that with the way that they pose it. I think it's just kind of pitting all of them against one another, and they don't need to be pitted up against one another. Jay Stoops, who is a comic Marvel Star Wars fan on TikTok, she had recently posted that she thinks the better way to pose this question is, who has the best filmography, or who has the best catalog of stuff to watch? And I think that is a much better way to look at this, because then you're not like downgrading any of the Chris's.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't know, that's kind of how I would look at that question.
I feel like a lot of times when you just say like which one's the better Chris, a lot of people would like maybe go to like which was the better looking Chris, or which Chris do you just like unabashedly like the most, or which one do you have like a bias against, so they're like out.
I don't know. I'm still gonna pick Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans is the only answer. I don't know why we even.
I don't know why. Like, I'm like,
no matter which way you pose
this very fancy like spiel, and I'm just like, I'm still gonna pick Chris Evans.
Yeah, he's Chris Evans is. It's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I mean.
Have you seen his dog?
Yes, I love Dodger.
He's so cute, and he's a rescue dog.
Yep. Which is another PSA. Rescue dogs only, all the way 100%. We will always advocate for that.
Yeah.
So will Chris Evans.
Yes.
Oh, this is a very appropriate question coming after it. Are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
I have no idea.
If you guys followed along to the Fan Club podcast, there are a couple of our friends. We were on their episode when they went over and reviewed Captain America Civil War. Very adamantly supported our affection for Team Cap on there. And we will make that well known again here on our podcast. We are 100% Team Cap.
Team Cap. I don't like Tony Stark. I don't like Iron Man. I think he's just so egotistical, and okay, I'm gonna go off.
Pop off, Queen.
In Spider-Man Homecoming, when Tony takes away Peter's suit because Peter says like, well, I'm nothing without the suit or whatever. Like, one, he's been doing Spider-Man in his own like homemade suit for a little while. Like, he can get by just fine, like, or whatever. But all the events in Homecoming like could have been resolved or not like been an issue had Tony and or Happy communicated even a little bit with Peter. Like, they literally don't tell him. Like, when Peter's on the ferry boat, like, you know, trying to catch the bad guys, and Tony like is just like, well, I called the FBI, and I'm just like, well, how the heck is Peter supposed to know that you called the FBI if you don't tell him that you called the FBI? Like, I don't understand like the whole thing. And like, he's just trying to be like a good person, and like Tony's the one that recruited him for Civil War because he had such a crap team that nobody wanted to be on, because Captain America was right and was on the right side. So he had to go recruit a high school kid, give him this fancy suit so that he could have somebody else on his team. And then, like, yeah, the kid gets a good suit and, like, wants to go and, like, do good in the suit. And you guys don't even talk to him for months on end. Like, I don't like it. Like, I don't like Tony.
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with everything. Just in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a lot of the turmoil that Peter is put through is due to Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like
he does it himself. Like, because he's just so...
All the events of Homecoming and having to deal with Vulture was because of Tony Stark.
Yeah, because Tony...
Everything that happened in Far From Home, when he was out on his European trip and had to come back, or, you know, had to fight Mysterio in London, was because of Tony Stark and being a bad boss to Mysterio and, you know, the rest of his crew. Going up in space in Endgame, or in Infinity War, was because of Tony. Tony gave him his suit. He thought he had to help out. He just happened to be there. Getting dusted, he wouldn't have been up in space if it weren't for Tony. Yeah. Like, the more and more I think about it, like, I do like Iron Man. I'm not on the same level with you. Yeah. We do disagree on that. But a lot of the turmoil that Peter has to go through and a lot of the grief that he has to experience in his life does come at the hands of Tony. And it's only because he recruited him and he put them into these situations.
Yeah.
And I think that's unfair.
Yeah, I think it's unfair too. And, like, and you see it throughout other movies too, like Age of Ultron, all Tony's fault.
Yeah.
Literally all Tony's fault.
I mean, there is some blame to go to Bruce, but I think
a little bit.
But Tony was, you know, pushing Bruce to do this, so it was.
Yeah, like, I don't like him, and then again, it goes back to the whole thing. Like, you know, people love Tony Stark and they love Iron Man, and it's like, how is it okay that you can love this character and relate to this character? But then when it comes to a character like Miss Marvel, who is amazing and just like us, because she's like such a huge Avengers fan, you can't relate to her. Like, I don't get it.
Again, it's because I, too, am also a genius, billionaire, playboy philanthropist.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
10 years of marriage, and this is something new.
Just trying to keep, you know, the spark alive 10 years into this marriage.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. I'm going to be very nice to you and open up this last one, and you get to read this one. And I'm very excited for this one because it's also very appropriate as of what we've just been talking about.
Who is the best Spider-Man? Tobey, Andrew, or Tom?
I'd like to hear your opinion first on this.
Okay. So I think for a while I was very much like Tom Holland. Mm-hmm. But now I'm just like, but is it Andrew Garfield?
Oh, really?
Because I think it might be Andrew Garfield. I don't know. I think Tom Holland does such an amazing job. But then after rewatching No Way Home not too long ago, and like, I really feel like Andrew Garfield just kind of stole the scenes that he was in. 100%. And that's why I'm just like, I think it might be Andrew Garfield. And
I think I don't know. So growing up a Marvel fan, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, I've grown up with a Spider-Man movie coming out on my birthday for years. Mm-hmm. And that was Tobey. And my answer in this is Tobey. Okay. He is my Spider-Man. He was my original Spider-Man. I grew up with him. He's what really got me into Spider-Man in general and into Marvel as a whole. So I relate a lot of my love and affection towards Marvel. Or I attribute that to Tobey Maguire.
Sure.
I do think that although Tom Holland is very good at being both of them, I feel like both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And then I think with Andrew Garfield, you have a really good Peter. And then with Tobey Maguire, you have a really good Spider-Man. Like, you kind of differentiate the two personas of them. Tom does a really good job combining those two.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like being Peter Parker, I agree with you that I think Andrew has the one up on him.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe we'll get another round of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man again. That would be amazing. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
But obviously, there was enough demand to have both Toby and Andrew come back. Like you said, Andrew stole all the scenes that he was in.
Yeah.
It was incredible to see all three Spider-Men up on screen at once. Like, I literally was crying during that movie, seeing that final scene on the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, gosh.
This one's a hard one for me to pick between the three, just because they all have something unique or amazing that they bring to the table when it comes to being Peter Parker or being Spider-Man. But to me, I think it's always just going to run down to Toby was my introduction, and he was my Spider-Man. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Well, we went through quite a bit today.
Yeah.
Hopefully we didn't lose too many of you with some of these hot takes or opinions that we have on everything from Marvel to Star Wars to Disney parks and Disney movies. But I think that was the purpose of today's episode, is that everyone has these like really strong opinions and these really strong controversial maybe topics or opinions on things, and sometimes you just got to get them out and you got to speak it to the world. And yes, maybe you can finally have a good night of sleep now.
I hope so. Like, Tony Stark just really grinds my gears, and I don't like him. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for all of our spicy opinions.
Why were they so spicy? Yeah, we'd love to hear if you guys have some controversial or spicy opinions on any of these. Which ones did you think that we got wrong, and we'll fight you over them?
Oh, yes.
I think I feel like we were on the right side of things when it comes to that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
but everyone has their opinions, and we just believe ours are right.
I was gonna say, everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion, I guess. So.
There's some fighting words there. But
it's all in good fun.
Yeah, all in good fun. We appreciate everyone who stuck around for this episode. It's a little bit longer of an episode, but I feel like we needed a long episode to get some
lots to discuss.
To vent some frustrations out on some of these opinions. So again, we like to thank each and every one of you for listening. Hop on over to YouTube if you're not watching it there, and watch us there. Hopping over to Spotify or Apple or Amazon to listen to us there if you're not listening to us there, and follow us on Instagram.
Yep, let us know all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and we'd love to have a discussion with you guys.
Yeah, we're at Team Unicorn Podcast, and again, for Team Unicorn Podcast, my name is Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And it's been magical.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Team Unicorn Podcast. You can find us on all major podcast platforms as well as YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like, and review wherever you are listening, and follow us on Instagram to keep up with all things Team Unicorn. And remember, stay magical.